video today. Not a surprise. I haven't been online in a little while, and I do have some company upstairs coming from South Dakota, and also Golden are visiting me now. And so I got motivated to do this video earlier today because something came to me, and I thought that you might be interested in what I just found and kind of uncovered with the help of a undisclosed source, an undisclosed friend of mine that I've been talking to. I can't give you any more information about who the person is and stuff. Not really that secretive. I don't have permission to reveal his name or not. If I didn't have time to really talk to him, say, can I tell you who you are and stuff? And I don't do that. Pop somebody on that I don't have permission to use their name and stuff. It's just that's not wise. But what I'm going to be talking about today is something rather interesting because people are seeing these lights in the sky, and they're seeing these determined to be drones. You hear the guys talking about, man, there are drones out there. There's drones, and now they shape like taxis and cars and buses, and they're huge. What are they? And the Biden and the government officials say, don't worry, they're private aircraft. Nothing to worry, nothing to see. Don't worry about it. Woo! And so people are speculating, what are drones? What are these things? Are they alien spacecraft? Are they coming from some mothership? Nobody really knows. That's what they say. But don't worry about it. We know they're operated by people flying these things, and they have a right to do what they are doing. Really, 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 really. Okay. Okay. So I have to ask a question. Is this some sort of gimmick to sell the next latest electronic car, electronic vehicle, some type of thing they're going to unmask upon us right around Christmas or maybe January 17th, that magic number of 17 that nobody knows about? Why 17? What am I talking about? Stay tuned. You're going to find out. But I'm telling you, is this an ad for a used car salesman? And all of a sudden they'll pop out and say, this is the new mode of transportation. Right, 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 right. So, what is this? What are we seeing? Drones. What in the world am I talking about? Well, in New Jersey and the East Coast, they're seeing drones fly over in mass coming from the ocean. We're seeing them in Oregon. We're seeing them in California. We're seeing them all over the country. We're seeing them since early October on, flying over military installations in the UK. And all around the Western world, we are seeing these things pop up. Now, what the heck are they? And so I was looking at and doing a little research here. And so maybe they're trying to sell us some used cars, the next latest vehicle you can imagine. But look at what this says here. It says fury grows as you. These are from Google. This is all from Google. You just do a Google search, mysterious drones, and this is what you'll pull up. It says fury grows as U.S. politicians demand answers about the drones. Drones over New Jersey are not from a foreign country. U.S. military confirms drone sightings in air bases a day ago. And over air bases, unidentified drones spotted over the U.S. air base in Germany. Mysterious clusters of drones over New Jersey baffle FBI. Boy, they nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. It's nothing to see here. Nothing at all. We got it under control. We have the government. We are better. We know better than you. Nothing to fear. This has gone on too far along. NBC News, YouTube, mysterious drones circling over major cities and military bases. Nothing to see here, folks. Nothing at all. These are private aircraft. Yep. U.S. Senator says New Jersey drones should be shot down. Amen. Multiple drones entered airspace at New Jersey Naval Station. Again, these are private aircraft, and we can't do anything about it, and they're just flying around. Is this a used car sales gimmick to make the greatest advertisement in the world? Or is it something more nefarious? Okay, keep tracking with me. Multiple drones entered airspace at New Jersey Naval Station. Drone mystery befuddles New Jersey officials and frustrates the public. Okay, drones over New Jersey. Okay, I want to read some more. Officials demand explanation on mysterious drones. That's in CNN. DW says Germany drones spotted over U.S. airbase in Ramstein. That's 7 hours ago. Wall Street Journal. Mysterious drones swarm U.S. military bases for 17 days. October 12, 2024. Wow. Nothing to see here. The government officials, they all said these are private aircraft. They can fly wherever they want. They can do whatever they want. What are they? Do you feel like you're being gaslit? You are. Is there any truth to this? I'm going to present a hypothesis tonight to each one of you. I'm going to present this hypothesis. This is my opinion. This is from the data I gathered, and I'm going to reveal what I found from news clips from magazines and articles about what you're seeing. Okay? I'm going to present you evidence, and this is a hypothesis. This is not a prophecy. I'm not a "thus saith the Lord" type of dude. I ain't. This is my opinion. I'm going to share it all under the copyright disclaimer section 107 of the Copyright Act. Use this as fair use for educational purposes and so forth. That's what I'm quoting under. So what are these things? What are these things? Let's look. Florida-made flying cars are coming if you can afford it. How much cost to pre-order? Palm Beach. What date was that? I can't remember. It's May 20th, 2024. Wow. Early spring. This isn't science fiction. Our episode of the Jetsons. The real Florida-made flying cars are up for sale, pre-sale right now. Come on, get your kicks and fly like the Jetson cartoon. We are entering a new era. We got to advertise our cars. How are we going to do this? This is May. Let's fly over military bases. Hey, that's a great idea. Hundreds of startups around the world, including some based in Florida, have been testing flying car technology for years and are ready to start selling them. You think truth is stranger than fiction? Oh, I'm going somewhere with this, folks. Hang on. The article continues. All my articles here, everything I have, the links are below here. Needless to say, there is a ton of money being invested in flying cars. Oh boy. Man, oh man, there's a ton of money. Wait till you find out who the investors and stockholders are of these flying cars. They're out now. They advertise them. We've been advertising back in October, flying over military bases. Nothing to see here. How much does it cost to reserve your flying car? Wow. If you look carefully at that picture, I don't think I can bring it up. And you go in the article, that looks like one of those drones that are flying over New Jersey, doesn't it? Yeah, they've been identifying some of the outlines of these things. Wow, how similar is that? It's very similar, folks, very similar. Let's go to this other article. This is the Verge, and I got the link is on screen as well as in the links below. Air taxis, the latest on the flying electric cars, bringing the Jetsons' dream to life. I thought I saw a video of one of these things flying at night that had the similar front look exactly like that. Looked like winged aircraft. Wow. Electric cars bringing Jetson's dream to life. Okay. December 12th, 2024. Interesting, isn't it? There's a future where we don't need roads and regular folks like you and me can jump into a boat-sized electric pod and just fly anywhere on a whim. While we'll be perfecting the miracle of human flight for more than a century, instant air transportation has long relegated to science fiction. But in the last decade, many companies have stepped up to help get flying cars and taxis out of Hollywood movie magic bubble. Okay. And I look down here, it says the air taxi dream is already passing some regulatory milestones. The FAA has now established rules for flying them. These are amazing rules, aren't they? They can fly over naval stations. They can go they fly over military bases. Wow. The FAA approved this? They got rules, though. Don't worry. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. Nothing at all. No, nothing. Nothing, says our government. Well, our government knows best. You're seeing nothing. Pay no attention to the obvious lights in the sky flying over military bases, your water treatment plants, your reservoirs. Pay no attention to any of this stuff. Oh, they're flying over your electrical grid system. Pay no attention because the FAA has rules. You can't, yeah. Let's go to Route 66 and just get some more kicks, okay? Wow. What's this one? This is from Slash Gear. Stellantis drops tens of millions in surprising space flying air taxis. Oh, these reports were just, they sort of look like the outlines of these things flying in the sky. They're closer ones that look like, well, they kind of look like that with the front view. And they're flying and they make a heck of a racket. And, they're air taxis. And people are saying these are bigger than a small bus. Air taxis. Air taxis. Come on now. Nothing to see here. They can fly over reservoirs. They can fly over your water treatment plant. They can fly over sensitive, highly secret areas. No problem. The FAA has rules for you, for thee, and not for me. Okay, let's go continue. This is from Stellantis' own website. This is July 2024. Stellantis invest additional $55 million in Archer following recent flight test milestone. Investment from Stellantis under company's strategic funding agreement builds the $39 million worth of open market purchases of Archer stock, and Stellantis completing earlier this year an $110 million investment made by Stellantis Archer during 2023. Construction nears completion on Archer's high-volume manufacture facility in Covington, Georgia, which is on track to be completed this next year. And there's one of their vehicles flying. Interesting. Looks like the things that are flying. And it says Amsterdam and Santa Clara, California. California. Where anything goes, right? It says Stellantis NV blah 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 blah. I won't say blah. Stellantis NV in New York Stock Exchange, STL, Euronext Milan, Stalam, ST Lab, Archer Aviation, blah, blah, blah. These are people investing in this. A leader in electric vertical takeoff and landing, a EVTOL. So we're witnessing EVTOLs flying over sensitive areas. Nothing to worry, folks. Not at all. Not at all. I got to get that evil grin and evil laugh somehow. Stellantis, under the company's strategic funding agreement following the achievement of its transition flight test, a milestone last month. Let's see what else they have to say. This is from Car Sales. Wow, car sales. This is a car sale magazine. Here you see the same thing. Stellantis backed electric flying cars to launch in 2025. How much you want to buy one of those Hummers for? It's a nice model. Just kick the tires, maybe twirl the propellers a little bit, and we got a model just for you. We got a family for 5. Hey, we got it for you. You're a new young parent, and you need a van for your kids. Well, now you can fly to school and over secret sensitive areas, military bases. They're not going to shoot you down. You can do anything you want in these things. If your husband's on a secret assignment overseas and they're sailing off from port, you can fly down and wave at them and, hi, Daddy, hi, Mommy, I know your secret mission. And you're flying in your submarine, hey, hi, doesn't matter. FAA has their rules, right? Am I gone crazy or something? Not yet. I haven't. I got to keep you entertained. Go back to Stellantis. Stellantis signals its continued confidence in Archer by further increasing its strategic shareholding in the company. Wow, Amsterdam and Santa Clara, California, blah, blah, blah. Continued confidence in Archer plans to bring electric vertical to the market by 2025, and they want to increase investment. Okay. This is where it gets revealing. Okay, it really does. How so? Is this a marketing ploy to sell flying cars of the future? If so, why fly over military bases, sensitive areas, critical infrastructure, over port, Trump's summer home in New Jersey and golf course, water treatment plants, areas of research and development? The Biden admin assuring us nothing to see, private aircraft flying about, it's under control. What about the Bidewell in Sunny Day Boy collecting money from foreign actors, flying reddish flags? Yeah, what about that? Interesting. Is there some type of connection maybe in the investors who are investing in this? I don't know. We'll find out, I guess. Maybe. Um, well, that Sonny boy will be pardoned suddenly. Wow, he was pardoned. Interesting. What could possibly go wrong? Well, let's look at Stellantis investors and find out who they are. Do they really want to sell flying cars of the future that can fly over top secret military bases? Hey, we can fly over Area 51. Let's take a vacation, honey, and take pictures of Area 51. They can't do anything. The FAA has rules. Oh, we have all these uninvited guests in our countries who would love these vehicles to fly over Area 51 and secret sensitive military bases. Oh, nothing to see here. Everything's fine. The FAA has rules. Let's continue. Market screener, shareholders for Stellantis NV. So I was looking at this. I go, wow, you have the Stellantis shareholders, and then you have holdings, the companies that hold in there. So I'm looking at, they have this, Euro at next. They have this couple of, French companies. Then they got Vanguard Fiduciary Trust. So I decided to click on it. So I clicked on it. This is what came up. They have Vanguard, and under here, the Dongfei Motor Company. No, this is a Chinese also corporation. Nothing to see here at all. This is the Communist Chinese Party owning this company who was investing money in this project. Nothing to see here. They can fly over sensitive areas. Goldman Sachs, Norges Bank, Blanca, Italiana, JP Morgan, and all of a sudden everybody else below there is blacked out. Interesting. That's the Stellantis shareholders, right? His band card. I go there and I try to look at it, and they're all blacked out. I looked on them there, and I did not see. I had to be a member or pay to see the thing. Maybe I missed it. I could have, it's possibly knowing me, but I didn't see anything that would block out. Why would they block out all these shareholders? Nothing to see here. They can fly over military installations anytime you want. Go to Area 51. Go over here and go fly a balloon across the United States and take pictures of where our missiles are and test our things. And the Biden admin will tell the FAA, we got new rules. Okay, think about being gaslit for a second. So I went back to the thing, and I went to the holdings of Stellantis. And notice interesting about what Stellantis says. It says it's Tofas Turk Automobile Federal. This is from Turkey. And the next is this other little red flag place called Zhang, I can't pronounce it, Leap Motor Technology Company. And then you got Archer Aviation, Artemis Group, Vulcan Energy. I wonder if the Spock is working there. You have Element 25, Alliance, and Nickel Unlimited. But the one that caught my attention is this place. Because up there in Vanguard, when you go back and look at the Vanguard thing, you'll see another Chinese company called the Dongheng Motor Corporation. Wow. They must want to get in the flying car market. Nothing to see here at all. Nothing at all. We can fly over sensitive naval research facilities. We can fly over water. And fly over, we could secretly come in from the ocean and fly low and go observe your water treatment plant. We can look at your reservoir. We can fly over sensitive military sensors. We're just going to sell cars. We're going to have this new ad out, and we're going to pop everybody up because we got a car for you. We got a car for you. I'm telling you, we got a car for you. Yes, I'm telling you, Florida-made flying cars are coming. Yep, they are here now. Oh boy, come on. Air taxis, latest flying electric cars bringing the Jetsons' dream to life. Nothing to see here, boy. Nothing to see at all. Pay no attention to where the cigar smoke is coming from, where the money's coming from, right? Pay no attention to that. Okay? And we go down here and look at who the Zizing Chinese thing. It is a founder. It is in Lindown District, Chizing, China. This is from mainland China. The Communist Chinese Party owns this company. Okay, you got to understand how these people work. The Chinese have mixed fascism with their system to make it pure as the driven snow. It's what everybody wants in the government. That's why um, Obama had Chairman Mao's Christmas ornament on his Christmas tree. That's why Pocahontas, that lady who thinks he's an Indian, extolled how she loved Mao back in 2008, all the way up to 2016, before Trump was elected. How these people in high government officials go, "Oh, Chairman Mao, oh, we need a revolution." We carrying books of Chairman Mao, the Cultural Revolution. We need to march through the institutions. We need to capture the youth and destroy your culture. Huh? Is that going on? You're outlawed. Your own national heritage is not really being taught in school, and they're teaching critical Marxism in school, which is cultural Maoism. It's just they call it critical. It's actually critical Marxism. Okay, I won't get into that, but they're enamored with these people are enamored with this, and it just makes you think because why these Chinese companies who, long as the companies make buku bucks and do what the Chinese government wants and gets their orders from them and they get a big cut from it, you can operate. But if you say one thing against it, they'll cut that business off. This is not free market stuff. This is how fascists work. They bind businesses together to control them. Alice Bailey, interesting, wrote about that, taking over the financial institutions, banking institutions, business corporations, even toothpaste companies, stuff like that. You take over everything. Schools, psychology, and you re-educate people. Man, and it's interesting that Alice Bailey channeled that these fallen angels, we call them fallen watchers, prefer spiritual communism. They like communism. Isn't that interesting? And she wrote this stuff during the time of Lenin, all the way up the Russian Revolution, all the way through World War II before she died in 1948 or 49. I think it's 49. Interesting. Problems with humanity. She makes a big, how these things like communism. They don't like the bad communists, the Stalinist type of communist, because that's too materialistic and too much power and control. But pure communism, spiritual communism is okay. I wonder why. I wonder if there's something going on that we're not seeing. So I want to ask a question. What if? And what I'm about to say is a what if. This is a hypothesis only. This is my opinion. It is not a thus saith the Lord. What the heck am I talking about? Just think. Imagine the best science fiction writer writing a novel. And I was writing this. Okay, I'm not a science fiction writer, but I thought of writing a book on this because this is a great sci-fi movie happening in front of our eyes. But man, if I could write a book and have it published next day, this would blow you away. So what happens if you suddenly want to take over a country and you infiltrate their schools and you teach critical Marxist theory, critical queer theory, critical that theory, into your kids to prepare for this cultural revolution, for the young people rise up and say, "Mom, Dad, you go to church? That's bad." Well, I'll put it like this: Maoism, what do you call it? The Cultural Revolution was based on the premise of unity. Uh, and what was the next one? I'm paraphrasing it: is chaos, destroy the system for unity. What they mean, you get a group of activists, in technical terms and in intellectual terms, they create according, I think it was Lenin or Marx, I can't remember now. They called this praxis. Praxis is you create activists. I was in social work. I went to college. We were trained to be activists, not social workers, activists to destroy the system. I took critical systems theory, which is now evolved into different theories, queer theory, this, that. I saw it all formation. I was in the classes. I have notes from them in the early 1990s of them planning for this. And this basically began right around when I was in college. And I was inundated with this stuff and argued with professors constantly because I'm an overage person who knew what communism was and I didn't like it. And most of my professors were avowed Marxists and I appreciate their honesty. They were communists. They admitted to it. and argued with them and stuff and debated. I Only one professor did not give me a good grade, okay? Because I said there was a difference of how men and women think, and I made a presentation, and I had the class rolling on the floor laughing, and he got up and said, "Mr. Melvin," or whatever you got an F. There is no difference between men and women. Whoops. See, we were in critical theory. We're to disintegrate male-female relationships. I didn't follow the narrative. Uh, 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 uh. See, you want to make a unified bunch of activists, and how you do it, you punish them because they're not doing the narrative, so they want to fail kids if you speak up in college over this garbage. So they hold it over you. Then they create chaos in order to break the system down. So you look at a system, say, the, the family. The family's headed by the male, and he has a wife, and he has children. Well, the male is the head of the household. He's a patriarchy, and he's dominating the woman. The woman has rights, equal rights as he, so she should dominate him. But so we have to destroy manhood, because you are, and plus you are a certain color skin, white or brown or whatever color your skin, and you have privilege. And so from privilege, you're teaching privilege to your kids through future generations to be male chauvinist pigs. You males are, and little dominant little housewives who are under your feet. So we have to destroy the family, so we come into the collective good. So we need to have chaos and destroy the family, destroy the country, your national heritage, throw whatever you want in there. You did your national heritage. Your country did bad things in the past, so we got to point those out. And you try to defend it. Well, we'll trick you in your own words, and they spiral down the drain. Then you go to the next stage, which is bring unity. You beat tar out of people until they're brainwashed and say, I comply to your subjective idealism. I have to be a new human being, a new species being. I have to be a new communist. I have to be a new man, new woman. We have to live in this controlled environment. Yeah, there's something going on here, far more nefarious. So in this sci-fi movie that I wasn't able to write in one day, and if I did write it, then things can go haywire quite quick. Oh, now let's look at the next question. Will it be December 17th or January 17th or the 20th of January? But why the 17th? This is a hypothesis only, and I probably threw every single one of you talking about the number 17. But here's the hypothesis. What if you get a bunch of investors, their CEOs like to hang out at the Bohemian Club in San Francisco, or go to the Grove over there and where the redwoods grow, or hang out on maybe some island in the Caribbean, and the guy got caught, and passes away mysteriously. No, not mysteriously. Nothing to see here. And you have, John Podesta writing about spirit cooking to Hillary Clinton. You have all the overtones. You also have the next door to the UN, the Theosophy Society, Theosophy. And wow. And then you have all these people in the UN, which are Theosophy. It is a Gnostic and Hermetic group. It's mostly more Gnostic than Hermetic, but Hermetic is in there. When I get in my Occult series, I'll talk about the difference between Hermeticism and Gnosticism and stuff, and show you how it's related to totalitarian systems of government. That's why the fallen watchers who are channeling things to these people who meet at the Grove and stuff, how to take over the world and get rid of materialism and bring this their new world order. You get activists to create chaos to bring about a new order. You have to erase what it means to be human and reprogrammed. That's what communism does. It's the perfect setup for that. I guess the demons and the fallen watchers that channeled this Alice Bailey and the rest of the Theosophists knew that. So that's why they just started. The first was the League of Nations. That flopped. They never sleep. They just look at the mistakes. They rebuild. They got the UN now. And you have the Theosophy meditation room in there. You have a library somewhere in there in the UN somewhere they can go to. Why? Why do they attend the WEF, the WEFers? Why do they go to Davos? Who are these people? Well, they're the top of El Cremo people. who are doing something nefarious. Now, what happens? They own CEOs of major corporations, things that have the name Black in it, or with the last name Morgan, or Vanguard. Vanguard is a communist term because you need a vanguard of activists to create chaos. Oh, I'm sorry. I, 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 I will cause you not to think the same when you see stuff. Okay, so just join with me a little uh, in my science fiction novel writing here. So you have these major groups of people, Black Jim and Black Joe, and you have and Black Onyx and Black something, and you have Vanny, and you have this, and you have all these corporations and banks and stuff that just love this, go over and have people build your vehicles for cheap labor, and in some country, and you don't have any environmental rules in a couple of countries, and you can pollute the heck out of them and make $1 billion and pay people less. Or we can have slave labor. Those reactionary people who see through this stuff that are in prisons in some of these countries can make this stuff for free. Profits, baby, profits. Then we can go to the Grove and cast off our cares and materialism in a Dionysus festival. And we'll be, we're destroying everything to make a perfect utopia for you. And so what happens? They thought, and they said, wow, let's have a smoke screen, and let's just I'm thinking, I used to watch the Jetsons, CEO would say, and I would say, what, I think, for example, I think air taxis will be the next, flying electric cars, bringing the Jetsons life to dream. Yeah, and somebody else will say, yeah, we need them. Flying cars are coming. We can afford it. We can make it. And in order to bring about this plan, in order to do some damage to the world, create chaos, in order to take over everything, you use a smoke screen, like, be like the Jetsons and jet all over the place. Okay. We can fly over all these secret facilities over a main enemy, the Americans, as H.P. Blavatsky said in her writing Secret Doctrine, I think it was, and that when we transition from the fifth root race to the sixth root race, there'll be no more Americans and no more Europeans. We'll become a one new species being. She didn't know the Marxism. No, Marx, she was a contemporary of Marx. She knew Marx's writings. Theosophy, going to create a utopia about group love, group conformity, group control. Wow, what a wonderful world you want to live in. Okay, so how can we get there? How can we make and bring down these countries that are, because we are following, like Edgar Casey says, that the fifth root race, which is our race, our scientific race, where we move from factual science to make believe science and so forth, and technology, and we transition into the sixth root race. Edgar Casey prophesied that's going to happen between 1998 and 2015-ish. That's past. Guess what? We're transitioning. Oh, yeah. All right. We have to have all this critical thinking. So you cannot badmouth the androgynous. You'll go to prison. They are gods. Don't touch them. We'll enact laws. Oh, well, yeah. And by the way, if you're flying one of those cars, FAA makes the rules. And, during Easter, last Easter, let's have a pervert day on the White House lawn, okay? Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. Nothing connects. All conspiracy theory. Get your tin hat on, right? Right. So what happens if this conglomeration of, Orwellian and Aldous Huxley, they wrote about this too, and either they warned us or telling the plan, one of the two, haven't determined what it is. I think Huxley was warning us, and Orwell I wasn't quite sure about. But they want to make this perfect world. Okay? And so when you connect it with the Theosophists and the Hermetic order of the Golden Dawn, whatever you want to call it, there's different types of Hermeticism, different types of Gnosticism, but they all have the same storylines. Once you understand that and read the language, and you read totalitarian fascist doctrine, and you read actual communist doctrine, how it evolves from Marx, Engels, so forth, etc., up the food chain, up to Mao, and so forth, to what Deng and all these other Chinese people who I cannot never pronounce their names. Why would they make the best food, but they want to take over the world? I don't know. But anyway, so you begin to wonder, why are they investing in these corporations? And so my sci-fi novel would be, well, in order to bring down the USA and to usher in the six root race thing, because these people are absolutely crazy, because I would show how crazy these elites are, these CEOs and stuff who own everything and corporations and stuff, and how they do all that. And you'll go, wow, these people are whacked out. Why am I listening to them? Why am I subjecting themselves? And they're infesting our schools, and they're teaching us to do this, and I can't say no to it. Yes, you can. Don't think you can't. And so in my thing to connect theosophy with this vast plan, you need a D-Day to strike. And so, since I understand theosophy, and I know that number 17 is a sacred number in the occult world, when could this happen in the United States? Would it be December 17th or January 20th, 17th or the 20th by chance? But why number 17? There's a hypothesis only. What's happening on the 20th? This guy gets voted in who's going to go against this agenda. These people are whacked out. I'd make sure in my imaginary book, I'd make sure that you know that these people are absolutely insane. They are true believers being tricked by Satan. And largely the church world doesn't know how to do intercessions appropriately against this mess. And it's easy, and they need to do it. Implement all the spiritual warfare techniques you already know and start doing it. Add Ezekiel chapter 13, verses 17 through 23 in it as well. And pray however God leads you to pray. And now you have some ammunition, and also educate yourself on what the enemy believes, what they're teaching your kids in school. Understand what critical Marxism is. I suggest you get on and look up this website, New Discourses, and listen to what James Lindsay's saying. Boy, I wish I was, younger, if he was older and I, who was my professor in my class, I could probably learn from him. I had to learn this in class and argue with professors. He's a PhD in mathematics, smart guy, got into his unwittingly, just like I did, studying the occult world. And he makes the connections as I have made already. He did it before me. I wasn't aware he existed until about a few months ago. So look up New Discourses. Educate yourself how to fight. Look whatever strikes your fancy. I would do the one on Mao first and read about it. Okay? So in my imaginary storyline, I'd connect the number 17 as a jump-off date when they would strike, So would D-Day be December 17th or January 17th to before the 20th? Because they would need at least 3 days to have some event where they can declare martial law, get rid of the opposition, and take over things, because something I wish I did have a speech impediment. I really do. Calamitous. If they weren't so calamitous, disastrous, like flying over secret military bases and stuff, and going over your electric grid and dropping a bomb, boom. Your electrical grid goes out. Sensitive military sites are taken out. Wow. U.S. would have to what? Surrender to who? The companies that fly that little red flag, over there. Over there in China land, they can come and take over. Now, is this a far-fetched dream? Why isn't our news media reporting on the Chinese Navy launching a massive military drill, even as I speak? They set up no-fly zones past the 20-mile mark of their national borders. The farthest one extends towards Japan. Wonder why. They're advancing, they're threatening the Philippines, and they're circumambulating around Taiwan, flexing their military muscle like they never have before. And then all we talk about is drones flying over New Jersey. What are they? We're distracted. And all of a sudden, the 17th of December comes. What happens? Now, if it doesn't, anything happen, will it be the 17th of January? That is a good educated guess, because most of these people are involved in theosophy and the occult uses the number 17 as a sacred number to them. I can get on that in my occult theory and my series in more detail. It is a sacred number. I'm only speculating. This is not as thus saith the Lord. These days most likely will come and go with nothing happening. But if they do, I just made an educated guess. Okay, so you can look at this video and laugh, but doesn't in the future, but it doesn't. The premise is still valid, because after all, Sonny Boy, the Bidens dynasty there profiteered off of this. Some of these companies, especially the Chinese, paying off 10 million or 10 billion or whatever it was to Iran. Look it up. All this stuff is buried and no one really reports it. Nothing to see here. It's okay to FAA approved you to fly over secret sensitive military bases if you take them out on the 17th. But again, why the 17th? It's a sacred number in the occult world. Again, I went to Google and it says, what does the number 17 symbolism means in the occult world? Theosophy, meaning of the number 17. So type in Google and do your own search if you like. It says, mean your guardians are trying to tell you something. I'm only using this. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail on this. I'm going to show you what the actual meaning is, but that's part of it. It means your contacts, your guardians, your hierarchy are going to communicate with certain people, implement plans to them. Alice Bailey and modern day theosophists have laid out the plan. They have control of the UN. The goal is group love, group conformity through a one world leader in a one world system made up of 10 kingdoms. Economic trade zones. Just look it up. Just look it up. Seeing the number 17 in public places, here's the actual reason. Nah, I don't want to click on that because that's a bunch of Babylonian stuff. Don't worry about it. It says here, what is the significance of 17 in numerology? The number 17 is associated with leadership, independence, and self-determination. Yep, it is, but a certain kind. We're going to look at what it actually means. It's these type of people taking charge to bring a plan into place. Interesting, isn't it? Quora writes, in the Northern Masonic jurisdiction, number 17 tells of the wanderer seeking truth. The ritual uses the Book of Life to depict a tale of human failure and teaches us that loyalty to God is man's primary allegiance. Now, they're not talking about the God we're talking about, the Hermetic God. Well, I'm going to let the beans out about Hermeticism. Hermeticism has this idea where God made the material world, which is they call him Father. And something he got wounded. He doesn't know, but he forgot that he's God. So he has the second part of him called the wisdom, which is the feminine, known as the sun, who is going to give secret knowledge to human beings that if they shred their materialism and they all come together, all humanity comes in one mind and realizes that human beings are divine, mankind becomes a missing part of God, the Holy Spirit. So when all mankind comes, their idea of the Holy Spirit, this is blasphemy, is humanity, not God, mixes with the wisdom, the feminine, who actually came as a man, named Jesus or something like that. That's their view. It's twisted, it's warped. And they can put God back together and instantly he's divine. And all three triangles join into one massive triangle and we're all back in the mind of Lucifer floating around. Woohoo, because their God is Lucifer. Oops. Tells of the wanderer seeking truth. That's what that means. The wanderer seeking truth is, I don't know I'm divine. How do I know if I'm divine? How can I be a good citizen? I'm going to do altruistic works. You see, the devil sends forth a lie wedded to truth. Okay, we're created in God's image and likeness does not mean we're little gods created in God's class. Hear me out. It means that we're actually created, the truth of the matter, the objective reality is we are to be reflections of God's certain attributes of his character traits and how to govern our world justly, fairly, with love, joy, peace, so forth. The fruits of the Spirit. We lost that in the fall. Jesus redeemed us, fills us with the Holy Spirit, brings out the same message later on in the epistles. But the occult world takes the little God thing. Some churches do. And I'm going to tell you, this is a thus saith the Lord. The Lord doesn't like that. He's mad at that doctrine. Not mad at the people. He's going to give them umpteen chances to repent. But if they don't, it's curtains for you. Sorry, Charlie. Had we not done all these wonderful things in your name? And Jesus say, hey, I don't know who you are. You take a hike. There's a lake of fire over there. Start swimming laps. You really need some thinking here. And I'm dead serious on this. Okay? I've studied this stuff. Okay? Makings of the 17th degree Scottish Rite. Okay? And according to, they say this number symbolizes victory and perfection. Actually, number 17 in biblical numbers means something totally different, but this is in what the Scottish Rite stuff believe. This is what the occult world believes. It's victory and perfection. So, okay, let's go continue. Now, here is where you find out is what the number means. It's in Chaldean numerology contains this idea. I got to give a disclaimer on this. I studied this stuff. This is the oldest system I could find. That's why I stay away from the Pythagorean and different ones because this is far older. Goes back to Babylon, and it's got convoluted and twisted with tarot cards, stuff like that. They use it, but it has enough of the occult in it so you can understand what their idea of numbers and why they would use the number 17 because it's a sacred number and all that means. So I'm going to show you what the number 17 means in the Chaldean numerology here. This is a highly spiritual number and is expressed in the symbolism by the 8-pointed star of Venus, aka Iniana, Ishtar, Artemis, etc., Diana, so forth, a symbol of peace and love. All about peace and love, baby. We're here about to bring peace on earth. No more wars. It's all about love is love, baby. And if you don't like it, we'll cram it down your throat because it's all about group love, group control, group conformity or else because we're about peace and safety and love. It is also called the Star of the Magi, and it expresses that the person it represents has risen superior in spirit to the trials and difficulties of his life or his career. In other words, he reached the state of realizing he's divine. Hermeticism, Gnosticism, ancient Babylonian occultism, Luciferianism. You wed the truth with a lie. You seeing something? 17 is considered a number of immortality, and that person's name lives on after him. In other words, people always remembered by the works you did for the betterment of humanity. They'll never forget you. You'll live on immortal. And so you'll see in this use of 17 the ability of trying to live as immortal beings. Go, it's not happening. Read about DNA. Read about what Noah Harari says that, and they want to be able to put you download your brain so into a robotic being or something. This is speculation. If they could, you can live immortal. Just write down living immortally, and you understand why these people are all gunning for this stuff. They're gunning. Okay. I'll go back to the slide. They're gunning to be victor and to being victors to bring perfection. They want the wanderers to seek the truth, to all become gods. They want the leadership to be independent and self-determination. Will just push this through. You can never say no. You cannot think of anything that you did is wrong. You gotta push on with the revolution. Your guardians are trying to tell you something. Oh yeah, spiritual hierarchies connecting with you. Like I said in my video on numbers and about this mass possession by the year 2025. Go back and look at that video and explain what I mean, why the guardians are making connection with you. And so here we got last one. It's a fortunate number if it works out in relation to future events on achieving perfection and provided the victory, as long as it is not connected to the individual numbers 4 and 8. Wow. I just gave you the occult definition of number 17. What is it? It's a fortunate number. Events for achieving perfection and provided victory. That should be providing victory as long as it is not connected to the individual numbers of 4 and 8. Why? Why do I want these numbers 4 and 8 thrown in here? I'll explain it. I'll show you what those numbers mean. Number 4 is possessing property, materialistic positions in society, influenced by Earth and later by Uranus, who was the husband of Gaia, Earth Blue. What does that mean? All totalitarian systems, Marxism, Hermeticism, not so much Hermeticism, they kind of enjoy it, but they're trying to get you to be God, to activate it. And then you have Gnosticism, to be pure spirit beings, okay? You're all godlike, It is a march. Communism, Hermeticism, totalitarianism, fascism, and communism is a march back to Eden. Humanity is going to be God and make the new Eden, new paradise on Earth. Flying cars, too, included. Batteries, not. So materialistic. If number 4 gets in the way and you give it too little materialistic, the plan is not going to work. You guys just don't know how to read this stuff, okay? Because it makes absolutely no sense to somebody. It's like Kamala Harris saying, well, we are a community that's helping the community become the community. The word community in communism is the state. We, the community, the state is helping you, the state become you becoming controlled by the state through group control. We think it's gibberish and nonsense. Burdened by what has been is another phrase. It's a paraphrase from Karl Marx, actually. In other words, we got to destroy society. We have create praxis, activists who will just create chaos and turmoil, and we can housebreak humanity to erase their national heritage and who they are as human beings and even families, and reorient them so the community becomes the state. Then you have a perfect world. Easily track, control, monitor. You can't buy or sell or eat unless you get a mark because it's based on force. They need a praxis of activists to create force to intimidate you, or you can't buy, sell, or eat. Number 8. So number 4, you can't be that in your position. Number 8 is the number of death, decay, loss, or extinction influenced by Saturn, which is green or pale green. Interesting. Saturn, Enlil, pale green rider. I just thought that was interesting. I don't know how it all connects, but I just found it a tidbit of information. And he would be one of the 4 angels chained under the Euphrates River. The 4 would be Ninhursag, Enlil, what's his name? Enki. Okay, what was it? Oh, and the sun deity known as an Akkadian. Is it Utu or Shamash? But Akkadian or Babylonian, Utu or Shamash. How do you derive that? 1 plus 1 equals 2, and 2 plus 1 is 3, and 3 plus 1 equals 4, and there's 4 angels, and those are, according to Babylonian lore, entered in, they all are associated with the abyss. Some way. They're storylines. That's how. All this goes right back to Babylon, thrones and all. Maybe that's where they're coming from, Babylon, in more than ways than you think. So you have over here. It's a fortunate number if it works out in relation to future events for achieving perfection, providing victory as long as it's not connected to the individual numbers of 4 and 8. not connected to being materialistic, which all the totalitarian systems are not. They don't want you to materialism. And number 8, the number of death, decay, loss, extinction. You can't push the button to extinguish the whole human race, at least not yet, till the 7th race stage is reached. It was not till the 7th root race stage, the 7th round of the 7th root race. Follow my Occult series, you'll find out what I mean on that. And they can reach and destroy everything and become pure spirit being. But if you get out of line and do this too soon, you're stupid. We're gonna have to go back and evolve out of sea sludge or whatever, or they have to steal the tablets of destiny, human beings, pull them out of the mind of Lucifer, and do this thing cycle over and over again. They want to get it right according to their wicked, insane ideology, straight from the pit of hell. And the ultimate goal is that, but don't do it too soon. We need some serfs around. We need to reduce the world's population, but don't get rid of everybody. Georgia Guidestones reduce the world's population to a certain amount. They're now destroyed. Eugenics is involved in this as well. Hermeticism and all this, and Gnosticism. I'll get there later. So you have this number. As long as this doesn't get in the way, and then all of a sudden, do you guys remember this UN thing that came out? And you can look up on the UN website, look up 17 sustainable goals. I was going to teach on this a long time ago. I never got around to it. And I guess it was for such a time as this. I'll give you a prelude to coming attractions here and why the number 17 is. I'm only going to stick on this subject right now, but it is a number for the occult numerology. And so I'll unravel it for you in a second. So you have the Agenda 2030 come up, and they have 7 sustainable goals, and 17 years prior to that, they have a plan. 17 years prior for that, they have a plan, and they always go to the 17-year cycle through the UN or whatever. They do that. So you have 17 goals. United Nations, 17 goals. All these sound. There'll be no more poverty. They're going to solve hunger. Everybody will be perfect health. We'll put a chip in you and, race your brain. So, quality education, Common Core, 1 + 1 equals anything you want it to be. And you got to hate your country. We can't have you thinking like don't learn about the American Revolution and what it means to be a free person, and how a country like the United States can correct its mistakes. Don't learn about how your country corrected its mistakes. You're evil. New education, gender equality. What? Yep. Patriarchy, feminism, fight, break apart male and female. Have get it on with anything and everything you want, and the children become wards of the state. Yeah. Clean water and sanitation. Who doesn't want that? Renewable energy. Yeah, use that as a sledgehammer. Good jobs and economic growth. Not so much. Remember, that's 8. Look what number 8 is. I want you to look at number 8. Good jobs and economic growth. Then you go over here to number 8. Number of death, decay, loss, extinction. Number 8 is good jobs and economic growth. In a totalitarian system, there's no such thing as positive growth. They want to collapse the economy, make everybody dirt poor for equity's sake, they'll starve you. Every communist revolution produced famine. They induced famines in the ancient times, like before Nimrod, all the way through up to the age of kings got ended, and emperors ended in 1918. They've been doing this. You take over a country, you devastate it, you create a big famine by design, and you get rid of the population, put your people in there and reprogram and refix everything, and build it back better. Going on for millennia, whatever you want to call it. And communism put it down as art. I don't know how many people died under Mao's famine, Pol Pot's famine. I think it was 22 or 24% of Cambodia's population was killed. 8, possessing with property materialism. We got to get rid of that. Okay. Number of deaths, decay, loss, or extinction influenced by Saturn. Okay, you got to have, you got to control that. So how you control it? Through sustainable development. You're going to have good jobs and growth. Ha 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 ha. Oh yeah, number 4. What's number 4 mean? Quality education. What? Possessing property, materialistic positions of society have to be eradicated. So what is the new education's about? It is the quality of education involves what? Uh, Marxist ideology. Wow. Do you think that happens? Do you think that that happens to be a coincidence with that, how they got a number? I can go through all these numbers and show you, but I'm not going to do it right now. But innovation and infrastructure. Yeah, everybody would want that. Reduced inequalities. After you bump off a lot of people and you got a small group of serfs and the elites, then you can concentrate on rebuilding the infrastructure and building a perfect world. Build it back better. Hallelujah. Yeah, sustainable goals. Reduced inequalities. Yeah, doing that, you reduce inequalities. And if you disagree, they beat the heck out of you. Okay, sustainable cities and communities. Yeah, they'll have that. Sounds great. You know, your 15-minute city, your little ghetto you can't get out of. Responsible consumption. You got too much consuming going over there. And you have, because you're a nation that consumes, you took from the have-nots to some other country you never heard of and nobody in your country's ever been, and you stole from them, and you have to pay it back. So come on in, people, and take over the country. Oh, yeah. 13, climate action. Oh, that's a lovely number. Um, Life below water. I got a picture of John Podesta touting that one. I'll have to go back, look at my notes, and tell you what that later. That's funny. Life on land is going to be altered. And then we're going to have peace and justice. And 17. Ooh, this is good. Partnerships for the goal. They have the UN symbol there. The goal. Partnership for goals. Wow. How communistic can you be? Pure communism, spiritual communism, is ruled by the Commissar. Well, I think I got that right. Or the Soviet. Soviet means council. A group of elites rule over you as a council. They represent you. The state, they're the state. The state is the people is the state, and since they are, what do you call it here? Whoops, I'm on the wrong slide. Because you know what are they doing? They're partnerships for the goal. So the people they represent. So the people is the party, and the party is the people. Okay, so you don't have a say in the thing. Only the Commissar, only the Soviet, the pure Soviet man can rule the world of the serfs. You own nothing. You will be happy. America will no longer be a superpower. Meat will be a tasty treat. Meat will be a tasty treat. Jawohl. Life on land. Jawohl. We're making sustainable cities. We're going toward the goal because it's going to be ruled by oligarchy. Why? 17 is a fortunate number if it works out in relation to future events for achieving perfection, providing victory as long as it's not connected with the individual numbers 4 and 8. Don't let 4 and 8 control and dominate everything. So if you're in education, number 4, quality education. Number 4 is possessing materialistic positions of the society. And since every culture is materialistic and you got to eat and live and stuff, and that materialism is bad, you have to destroy it. You have to build it back better to make a pure Soviet man, a pure spirit being. So what happens if in my imaginary sci-fi book, if I was able to write it in 50 minutes and have it published the next day, before the 17th, but whatever, I'm just saying 17th. I'm not a prophet. I'm not saying it's going to happen. It probably won't, but I just chose that to show you some connections that you're probably never aware of before. And suddenly things make sense. And suddenly you realize what's going on. Okay. And then in my imaginary novel, you have this smoke screen where people are going to want you to be like the Jetsons, flying cars and everything. Man, I'm telling you, it sounds great. My Lord, I mean, I want to buy one of these things, man. I always dreamed to have a flying car. I always wanted to be like the Jetsons, jetting all over the place. Smoke screen. So you have um, marketing ploy to that would be the premise, my outline. They make a big deal about marketing ploy to sell flying cars of the future. But the FAA makes it okay to fly over sensitive military bases and ports of America who's hostile to China, okay? And you have an entire administration with a sunny boy in it who collect money from foreign actors flying reddish flag, yeah. Well, and the sunny boy will be pardoned suddenly. What could possibly go wrong? Let's look at Stellantis investors and find out who these are. So I'd have my hero go in there and go and look up in more detail and go, wow, these things are interesting. I see Vanguard there. Now I go in that list of shareholders and I come up with this, and most of them are blocked out. Why is that? Why is that Donghang Motor Group in there? Why are we working with the Chinese Communist Party? And I go back to there and I look to the holdings in Stellantis. I go down the list. It's a big list. Go to the links below. And and you can go to other sites. Maybe they have a better list of all of them. I don't know. I didn't have time to look at all of them. But I found some blackouts on some of the others as well. Then you have the Xinheng Motor Company. And then you have a connection to the Chinese. So, what if? Again, this is hypothesis, not a thus saith the Lord at all. All these people conspire together to knock out the infrastructure of a country, devastate its military before a certain individual gets to be president. And because the people are rising up worldwide, sick of this garbage, and you want to hold on to power, power, power at all cost. So you have an incident, a catastrophic incident, a catastrophic instance. Your water's polluted. Your electrical grid goes down on the 17th of January. Just arbitrary date. Pay no attention. And why? The reason why? Well, you have the partnerships for the goals to take shape. You have the Soviet collective, oligarchy who will rule you. You have to destroy no more America, no more Western Europeans. I'd put that in there. I'd float that stuff in my imaginary science fiction novel on drones and drone on and drone on. That's what I'd call it. And you take over. Take over the world. You own nothing. You will be happy. I mean, some real German guy was speaking that. He likes to eat his wafers. Yeah, well. Meat will be a very tasty treat. We need 15-minute cities. We need to put the internet of all things into your body. I can't do a Noah Harari at all, but humans are hackable animals. We can just figure out how to put our brains, our intellect of this collective hive, the number 17 group, who's got a victory now because they defeated materialism. They defeated the materialism through education, and they didn't overextend their losses. They create a perfect world of harmony, beauty, and then they wait for the seventh root race stage to destroy everything. But go back to my occult series, read that, study it, not read it, but watch it. So what do you think? Think my imaginary sci-fi would make a great novel or maybe living history? Write it in the descriptions. With that, I'm going to sign off. So if you like my content, like what I do, like to contact me, website there. My website is outdated. And then we have my emails, my PayPal information, so forth, etc. My 2 books, Hell's Dominion, Land Unknown, Hell's Dominion is my afterlife story, and Heaven Beckons is how the Lord cured me of some PSD and by showing me heaven. And both of the books are out. I got to get the Land Unknown book on audio. I have to work that out. I was thinking of going to a publisher, but since I haven't heard too much from them lately, that probably will not happen. I'll do it myself. But anyway, that's how things roll in the world because, people do business and they think the book is too controversial or something, they won't do it. It's just one of those things, So Maybe they will, maybe they won't. I'm just seeing if it would work. I own full rights to my book, Land Unknown, Hell's Dominion. I can do what I want with it. But I may have to just do the audio. I can't hardly talk sometime. I stammer and I have a speech impediment. It intimidates me to read my own book, but I probably will. I have to do it that way and do the audio myself. I want to get an audio book. So anyway, if you'd like to connect with me, whatever, that's how to support what I do and stuff. Just know that I do not solicit funds from people. I don't ask you, call you up, or send you an email begging for money. I don't. Just don't. And if you get one, let me know, because that ain't me. I can take it from there. So with that, I'm just going to put that back on the screen. I'm going to go to the live chat in just a second here. I have 28 people watching. Wow. Or more. Whoops. Let me go up here. Okay, why does this restream? Okay. I'm going to show this. Maybe this will clear the screen. I can't. Okay, it did. Okay, screen cleared. I couldn't read the live chat. It was all blue. Weird. So everyone says, yeah, hello, hello. Everybody's coming on loud and clear. Yeah, here Joe says this. The governmente el leadershipo, they know exactly what these are. Norma says, I'm so glad you're on and addressing this. I wish I wasn't sometimes, but what the heck. I learned something about being Christian, that I understand something. Jesus said, take up your cross and follow him. In other words, you live your life knowing that you're a dead man. Your life's hidden in Christ. I live forever with Christ in heaven. So I'm not dead in the sense of this world ain't my home, baby. I got a home in heaven. So do you if you're a Christian. So you got to live life dead to the world. Already figure you're dead. What are they going to do to you? Kill you? Oh, they'll take everything you own, but you'll starve to death. But while you're starving to death or whatever, they are going to be found guilty standing before the Lord. They have eternity in the pit of hell, the current hell. That'll be cast into the lake of fire, or the lake of fire, whatever comes first for them. By them tormenting you or persecuting you, you prove evil, and you got a great reward in heaven. But you got to have that mindset. You got to have it. You may not like what I say, but it is true. Jesus did say it. Take up your cross and follow me. Think about it. Number 17, Para says, is number 17 an evil number? No. It's a number like you have 17 chickens or 17 ducks or 17 cars or 17 houses. It's just an ordinal number. It's the ancient Babylonian system, I call it, probably from, I would say, in the days of Noah, when the watchers came or the fallen angels came and stuff, made assigned meaning to these numbers and secret knowledge that led humanity astray back then, and God got so bad that God came down and destroyed the world and saved Noah and his family. Okay, so numbers in and of themselves are nothing. And so people say, I see this number constantly. What does this number mean? I tell them it most likely means absolutely nothing. And so people will say, I'm seeing 111 or whatever. Well, that's a psychological thing. I always look up and I see it's 111 or 1111 or 1211. I see the same number. Well, you're going to see that number twice in a 24 cycle anyway. So your mind inadvertently will know or something, and you'll see it, or you see it on a car. Something's playing with you, and it ain't good. Just say, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus would be the best thing. Now, the Lord could speak through those numbers. Yeah, they're biblical, actual definitions of those numbers. I don't have time to go through this. And some of those numbers that you're receiving, the Lord's going to rebuke you, okay? And others are, the Lord's going to bless you. No, that's not how it exactly works. That would be like that's more like the occult world. And so there's specific meanings to those numbers, and they really don't fit, as far as I can tell, anybody saying. Now, in the occult world, yeah, there's meaning to them, and they assign it, and they do spell casting that way. So I'd be very careful trying to do that. I just tell people, just look up, you see 111, look up Psalms 111 or Psalms 119, 111. You got a lot of them there, and just repeat that verse right back. Okay, I'm just saying, read it in Psalms or whatever. Just read it. See if you find a Psalms with those two numbers in it. Okay, the first verse and the 11th verse of Psalms 119. You're seeing 222, the second verse and the second verse and the 22nd verse, and read it and say, praise the Lord, hallelujah, I rebuke this in the name of Jesus. I taught people this, and they stop seeing the numbers, or they see them, they don't pay no attention to them. So I'm just telling you, don't get hung up on this stuff. A lot of witchcraft is used in it, but the number 17 or any number is just a ordinal number. And if you're a mathematician, you'll love them. I'm not a mathematician. And if you really love algebra, you'll really like alphabet attached to numbers. And they're just how to do formulas and formularies to figure something out in a logical procession for whatever reasons you want to do. Trigonometry, physics, so forth, etc. Cosine, sines, dashes, blah, 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 all have different mathematical meanings, and they're just mathematical things. It's how God let us figure things out. So God knows the number of our heads. So God is all into numbers, but not using it in the occult world. The devil will use numbers in the occult world in a spell casting way. If that's the case, it is for evil. But evil always weds truth to a lie. It weds goodness to destruction. You got to remember that. Hope that helps. This is out too. Drones are looking for a dirty bomb. Possibly. That could be a thing they're looking for. Absolutely correct. We have enough people in here snuck across the wide open border. We do have over 60, 70,000 military-age Chinese people in our country. Yeah, it's possible. So that's what I've heard so far. It's dirty bombs. They're talking about it. They're drones. There are drones. Yeah, they could be by these companies, and maybe they'll make a used car commercial afterwards. Wouldn't that be a trip? That's probably most likely could happen. Life is weird. And Area 151 is kind of a joke, but it is where the aliens were. And yeah, 51 is 17 times 3. Yep, 51. Yeah, you got it. You're getting the picture how the occult world works and sends messages. I didn't have to teach this. You just mentioned it. That's enough said. In the year 2025, in all probability, be the externalization of the hierarchy on this planet. They'll begin revealing themselves. It doesn't say how they'll reveal themselves, but interesting. Okay, I know they said that, but who put the dirty bombs there? I'm just saying this is all speculation. I did say it. I did say it pretty plainly. This is a hypothesis. This is not a thus saith the Lord. But what's a dirty bomb go off on January 17th or the 17th or some 17th date? What are you going to do? Or some date? What happens? What happens if it's more than just a dirty bomb? There's lots of dirty bombs. Who planted them? Why? So I'm just saying, you never know. You never know. So this is what they talked about. What if they have tested to? They can evade radar. They're too large and fast for known battery power to sustain. A police officer witnessed 50 coming off the ocean. Can you imagine the crashes and falling debris if a bunch of people actually use these things? Yeah, supposedly several of these have crashed and they cordoned off the area searching for it. These things, I heard they also could be carrying dirty bombs, spraying and stuff. There's all kinds of fabricated stuff going around and stuff. And so when I hear a certain administration tell me something, if it's a dirty bomb they're looking for, after 4 years of lying to us, how can I believe that? How can I really believe it? I'm sorry, I don't have any faith in the current administration. Went through 4 years of this and 8 years before. 8 years from 2008 to 15 or 16 with Obama putting up with this. And yes, they are making it's all in the news for a long time. They're going to put flying cars out. And, well, they're talking about making them shine for the public. They can't evade radar yet because I think they're using these vehicles for that purpose. Maybe they're using sniffers to find out dirty bombs, or maybe they're seeing if these are coming from somewhere dropping dirty stuff. We don't know. Don't know. We really don't know. And this is what a lot of people says. I was on a destroyer in the Navy, and there was no way the Navy would be letting foreign drones be flying over us like that. You got that right. Unless the president says, don't go to this area. The president. Do we have a president? Or whoever's in power, do you think they would put a hole there for something? Or maybe one of the players that really pushed the buttons. If you're in the Navy, and you've been in any of you are veterans, you know that wars are for the corporations to make a buck. So when you know that the corporations are doing their thing and what they're involved in, kind of makes you it makes you go, None of us know the absolute truth on this. We can only speculate. That's all I'm doing is speculating. Yeah, and I agree. If I was president, I have destroyers there. I'd have craft. I have 40 millimeter Bofars with what do you call it? Analog system with what do you call them? Proximity fuses, and these things fly over. They go dark. I just shoot at them. You would hit them, blow them up, and find out who they are. That's what I would do. I'd shoot them down. But why shoot them down if these corporations are involved with these things and they're trying to help the country, or maybe spray stuff, use dirty bombs as a way to help spray the stuff over the country? Maybe they let all these people in and they finally go, whoops, we're wrong, and we have to find out where these terrorists, why do we have at least 5,000, 8 divisions of Chinese troops in our country right now on the level I think is around that, and CCP army, People's Army. Why do we have terrorists and all this stuff entering our country? Why do we have the gangs and trafficking we are? It just makes you wonder. So yeah, normal circumstances, that would be correct. We don't live in normal times anymore. So the best way for the Navy not to respond would not have the Navy there. The Coast Guard's there, and they have seen them. They spooked a boat. Again, if my boat was spooked, I would have said to heck with the rules of engagement. I'd open fire. There was a threat to me. So they have Bofors on theirs. I think some of those ships have 40 millimeter Bofors, or 20 mil, or oil crin, whatever they are. They'll take them down. So yeah. but the military is largely told to stand down. So it's interesting. So they're looking for something, or maybe they're involved in something a little more nefarious. Maybe, possibly, and I changed my narrative a little bit, all these people snuck across the imaginary border that's now the south and north of us. And they creep over here unabated by a government that's saying, come on in, by somebody who, Sonny Boy, collected foreign money from countries with red flags. They're enriching themselves with it and all that, and pardoning them too, get a pardon for it. Maybe they want these dirty bombs in and these planes flying over them, and this is just a con job. And at a certain date and time, they release this stuff, and then we're knocked out. And communist China surrounding Taiwan, circumambulating it, and they put out their no-fly zones, extended them way out beyond the 20-mile mark of international waters, and they want to take over Taiwan, and they want the Philippines, and they want the oil area of Java, so forth, etc. Much like the Japanese did in World War II. They have bases they're putting in the Solomon Islands, of all places, Guadalcanal, as well, holding a revolution there. You don't hear any of this stuff. That was back last summer. I don't know how that revolution turned out in Guadalcanal. They're setting up bases. They own land next to military bases. They're taking over our farms. And have you noticed that some of your food that you buy, you cut into it? This ain't food. I got these beautiful apples, cut them open, they're all rotten on the inside. And my wife and I would buy watermelons over the summer before she passed away, and we couldn't eat them. They tasted horrible, and the texture was weird. Um, uh, we go to the store, and the zucchinis don't look good, and things don't taste right. It's just, what's going on? And then I found on a box, oh, everything's coming from China. China gets the good stuff. We get leftovers, I guess. Frozen watermelon that turns to rubber, or maybe it's rubber. I don't know. It's weird. Some guy took out some watermelon, threw it out. I did the same thing. I didn't think anything of it. And, watermelon goes bad and rots. This stuff sat there on the ground, and it did not. Animals wouldn't eat it, just like this guy reported on YouTube. It didn't eat it, and it just stayed there. Someone melted what was it, a Nutty Buddy type ice cream thing. I don't know what brand it was. They let it melt. The substance was still there, and a bunch of melted goo, which probably been the ice cream, but it was looked yellow. That was an interesting video to watch. So why is our food going bad? What's going on? I don't know. Thank you so much for helping me laugh about this, Brian. Otherwise, I'll be crying. Hey, I got to have humor in this because this is a serious topic, and it's just a hypothesis. You got to make it amusing too. It is serious, but it takes the edge off of it. Now you know, and you don't. One thing for certain, this current administration has not been truthful to us one iota. They fabricated events in January of a certain year. They had their agents, 26 of them on the ground, or informers, they call it, with 3 agents who were probably more than that, who put them all together and 12-man squads, or whatever you want to call it, or 15 or 18. I don't know. They had a connection, and they send them off to do their thing, to get into this protected building, to make somebody look bad. And so, I don't trust them. I don't trust the corporations either. I'm sorry, I don't. After studying this stuff and knowing they want to set up shop in China under the Communist Party's rules and regulations, then get cheap labor and sell it back to America, and we're getting lower quality products and really bad food. And it's like, how can I trust anyone? Why can't these people leave us alone and let us live our lives as our Constitution allows us to pursue happiness, okay, under a moral and just system, okay? um, you know, equal justice under the law, not equity, equal justice under the law, all that. A divided government that can't be a totalitarian system suddenly has become one through bureaucracies. I can't trust anyone. Why can't these people just be there to protect us, let us live our lives, and look out for us, instead of dictating that if you say the wrong thing, we're going to censor you? How can I trust anyone like that? Yeah, I know what you meant. So I meant you were stationed on a destroyer. Yeah, even if somebody was on a nuclear submarine, I don't think they would be launching these things. It's possible, I don't know. I mean, our military went woke. I don't know if you were in there when they went woke, but um, I don't know. I really don't know too much about what the current military is like now, other than what I read and heard from people who couldn't wait to get out of it. So you're on. I'm not going to put the name of your ship, Faith. I don't want to put anybody in harm's way of anything. Probably not, but so why do I think these are flying cars? Because there's some videos that came out and they had at night and they were flying over some lighted areas, so it lit up the silhouette, and it's the same silhouette as these two vehicles that I showed in the pictures earlier. The same silhouette. One of them is has a head and it goes like this and then goes like that, and the other one looks like a fixed wing aircraft. The wings go back and forth, and they can either go forward or the propellers will go up like the Osprey does, and they operate like a drone. And they're developing them, and plus you got the articles out there talking about it, and you got a mass of people who are funding these things. It's there. Hey, it could be a good advertising gimmick. Flying cars save the day. Corporate giants and employees of these systems volunteered to find a dirty bomb. Buy one today. $14 million for your van to fly your kids to. We don't have to do street repair anymore. We fixed the infrastructure. We're in line with sustainable 17 sustainable outcomes. Yeah, we're in line with that. We don't have infrastructure. We just fly wherever we want. Boo boo. Hey, it wouldn't work. It would be nice to fly, but then you have to fly like the Jetsons in a controlled area, and maybe you have radar so you don't have to hit everybody, and you have a you have speed zones. You have the cops on the motors. I'm thinking Jetsons. I'm sorry, pulling you over to the platform. Did you know you're doing light speed where you're only supposed to do 1,000 miles an hour? I was in a hurry, officer. I had gas. Oh, yeah, yeah. Could you imagine? Oh, I'm sorry. Maine, I'm confused. So am I. And I think everyone here is confused about these drones. So you need a little humor, a little levity, and a little bit of truth could be in it too. It is a terrible way to advertise something. But I think it would work. I mean, it is a terrible way, but who would know? Nobody's aware of this. And so they say the cars that save the day, and you want to buy one, uh, and they save the world from a dirty bomb, or something or nasty happening, whatever, or if there are nefarious purposes and knock out a system, either way, whatever happens, they're looking for something that would, or people put something, or and they know about it and they don't want to admit to it because their border policies caused this, then yeah. Houston, they have a problem. They'll have to obfuscate and gaslight to get out of it. I don't think these flying cars, and this is some ad game. Most likely it's not, but I'm just saying. There was a bit of humor there, Sean, in the beginning. I'm trying to get your attention. It's called an attention getter, a long introduction, just to get your attention, because what I was trying to do in the video is connect the imagery that people have seen, the outlines of these things that you can watch on video now, match those outlines. So you put 1 + 1 = 2. Logic says they're probably these things. So why not go back to the drawing board and show that these things do exist? They do have flying taxis. They're developing them. You have major corporations, Vanguard, Morgan Stanley in the United States, a whole bunch of other stuff, stakeholders and stuff involved in this. Buku bucks being poured in it for sustainability's sake, okay? Sustainability goal. And so, yeah, that's why I said that, kind of a tongue-in-cheek way, but to make you realize these things may not be UFOs, actually. They could be these flying vehicles they developed. That's my point. Exactly right. I was making funny skit. And I did drag it on way too long. I had fun with it. I apologize, but I couldn't resist. Baidet, that's a good way. That's the sitting president. It appears they are drones. Now, someone asked me this question before, Norma, are they drones? I say these probably are drones, mixed in with actual UFOs, probably. We have actual evidence of UFOs now, with the government coming out with that, and they've seen these things dive into the ocean and under the ocean. Could these things be something like that? Could be. They could be these flying cars. I don't know. Maybe the things flying out in the ocean are UFOs, and the flying cars could be looking for them. I don't know what they're dropping or depositing. We don't know. We really don't know. So so we have evidence of UFO disclosure where there are true unidentified flying objects or unidentified aerial phenomena, as they call it now. UFO is much simpler, and could be little green men or whatever, little aliens. They've got biological mass. Take it from the crash sites of some of these things. They all disclose this, all out in the open now. So there are real ones. Are these the real ones? They appear, a majority of them appear to be um, um, drones. Some probably don't. Could these flying cars be militarized to chase after these things? And maybe that's what we're seeing. I have no idea. I have no idea. You can go either way. It could be a mix of both. It could be alien invasion, whatever, and the drones and terrorists. That even make a better sci-fi movie. I wish I'd have thought of that. Terrorists making dirty bombs and nuclear bombs, planning around the United States to use the flying car salesman say, "Let's help the government." That's a great idea, says the El Presidente. And oh yeah, we have aliens coming in here. Our cars can track them, and we can fly up and we can monitor them. Oh, that's a great idea. We can kill two birds with two stones. We don't know if the flying saucers are helping the terrorist out or not. That would make a fantastic sci-fi movie, wouldn't it? Yeah, I am dragging out a little too long. It is late. I'm in a good mood for a change too. Yeah, I mentioned that. There are 15 to 20 drones following a Coast Guard ship. And I said in the video, I said, hey, they should have shot it down. But they probably didn't have control clearance. Maybe they didn't know if it was a UFO or one of the flying cars sent to save humanity. Boy, that would be a good title for the flying cars that saved humanity, based on the old 1950 flicks. I don't know. It would be a good sci-fi movie. Funny, too. Yeah. Did Alice Bailey know she was channeling the devil? No, she did not. She thought uh, I think, or Anglican or no, or Methodist. I can't remember who her father was, a preacher or presbyter. I think it may be Anglican in the Church of England and stuff. And his mother died, and he sent her off to some place in the country to live. And mixed up kid. What she contacted were, the Bible calls them angels of light. Beware, the devil and his minions appear as angels of light. And that's what she was channeling. She thought she was channeling. She was a chosen vessel, a chosen one. You see those YouTube videos. Are you a chosen one? Be very careful of those. And so the entity says, you are a chosen one, Alice Bailey. You'll lay out this plan. We're going to come and visit you and connect with you. And she thought she was channeling good spirits because they mixed a lot of Christianese into the language to confuse her, because they wanted to, as she would later say, to bring forth the silent watcher back to the earth for some means. He's the silent watcher who's almost sinlessly perfect, whom the whole world waits. It's the Antichrist. And she laid out the entire plan in her writings, how to do all this, set the stage for this to happen. Even the years and the dates. If they come true, we'll see, because the year 2025, we are in it technically. And our 2025 starts in January. But we'll see how they manifest. If they manifest, we do have UFO disclosure going on, so some of that could possibly have happened and could be true with these UFOs. Some of this could be connected to what we're seeing, the drones and stuff following these things. Who knows? I have no idea. But we know that certain political ideologies run the UN. Most of it's theosophy, and who are pro-spiritual communist, a mix of communism and fascism, so they don't go broke as a joke doing it. And so, yeah, I don't know. So, well, all I know is that she did not know that she was channeling a devil. She thought she was somebody that was helping humanity achieve a higher state of consciousness. That goes back to the Hermetic idea of becoming your own God. When everybody realizes they are divine, God gets to know himself as divine, and we create a perfect world back in the mind of Lucifer. It goes back to ancient Gnosticism, goes back to all that stuff. That's my terminology for it, to make it simple. And then Matthew 1979 says they're not sure. Some have been reported evading radar. Yes, I heard those reports. Those could be actual UFOs, or these things are trained to do that. Not only that, not one has been seen landing anywhere. Not one. They're coming from the ocean and returning to the ocean. Exactly. We don't know where they're coming from. A ship off shore, a submarine sitting silently below the surface, a foreign submarine of some type. You can speculate coming out, or maybe a vessel is releasing them at a certain location. The vessel moves and they kind of hover, then they come in, so there's no vessel near them where they pick them up on radar. I have no idea how they do it. And Nora asked Fallen Watchers, possibly the UFOs would be UFO Fallen Watchers. The ones there are 200 consigned, according to the book of First Enoch, were consigned to the abyss. And according to the book of Jubilees, 20% were allowed back out to help the devil continue it. So you have 21 that are in principalities. Under them are legions and generals and so forth, etc., etc. And a lot of them will be coming back, yeah. Some of them never left the earth, even left the planet itself. They are the fallen spirits of the fallen watchers. So you get into all this stuff. The UFOs could be related to the fallen watchers. I really do think they're related to that, because just getting more and more evidence and more disclosure that kind of show you the nefariousness of these creatures who promise the peace and safety and security. We're doing this for the better of humanity. And they all bring the New Age movement, theosophy. They all speak theosophy. Oddly enough, they do. So some of these things are UFOs, probably my speculation. If I were to guess, and this is only my opinion, I believe it has something to do with extraterrestrials. Yeah, I'm of the same opinion. We could be following them, or they could be flying these things. Who knows? I don't know. Truth is stranger than fiction, you know. Yeah, demons pretending to be extraterrestrials would be more accurate. And Sean's like everybody else here. We honestly have no clue what's going on. Amen. I'm speculating kind of tongue in cheek. You never know. That's why I say, I don't know if I were planning this from the enemy's point and knowing I don't like a certain person to come into presidency, and number 17 being a sacred number, yeah, if I put it in a fictional sci-fi movie, yeah, I'd throw that in there. But it's a good way to introduce you to the 7 sustainability goals. And this is probably more accurate. I bet that they're trying to use this for several different converging benefits. Aliens using the illegal military that came across our border from manned drones, etc. That's more probable, in my opinion, and showing my tongue-in-cheek, overdone way. I call it my William Shatner way, an overdone actor way, to make that same point. I think they are. I think that's the real point. They're using it. Again, we're all speculating. Hey, this is a good one too. It'd be fitting the novel too. Maybe they're not coming here; they're leaving here like rats taking off a sinking ship. That's interesting. They're taxis. Well, why not? Well, when I see the head honchos leave, yeah, they're still here. When I first saw, I thought, oh, China. Then on X, they were saying Iran. So our country must be vulnerable. Not surprising under the Biden administration. Yep. First thing that came to my mind was China, and I found the Chinese connection literally in the video. I showed that to you. And I got to uncover the rest of those. If you guys do some sleuthing and find out the rest of the stakeholders and the major players and investors of the flying car industry, let me know. Yeah, yeah. And they identified 3 different types of vehicles. They're filming. No doubt airplane, 1 drones, more likely are drones, unknown drones that are large, fast, and coming from ocean. Yeah, so you have 3 different types of drones. 2 I can identify by the flying cars. The 3rd one could be actual UFOs. I have no idea. You look at some of the videos, you see the same shapes. You'll see them. And again, if it's UFOs, they're coming out of portals out of the ocean like they've always been doing for eons now, I guess. They watch these things fly into the ocean, go underwater at astronomical same speed that they in the air as in the ocean. So they have some system that can do that. They go underground, like volcanoes or mountains. They like to hang out in certain mountains and go underground on deserts and stuff. Those are the areas they've seen these things coming in and out of. So yeah, so there could be portals straight from hell. These things coming straight from hell, the demonic world being unleashed by theosophists, black magic, white magic people, so forth, the occult world. In my occult world series, and my cult series I'm doing here, go back and listen to it again. I'm going to do another one. I go through all that. They're actually channeling these things out of portals. Literally, their own words, not mine. And another person writes, my gut tells me it's a cause they want to stop Trump. Yeah, I kind of mixed that in my storyline of my imaginary novel. Excuse me, 17th is the 7th prime number. And there's a biblical number to it. I did teach on that number, meaning I cannot remember from memory or what it was. I actually prepared to write a book on it, interpreting numbers, but I don't have permission from some person to help co-author it who could help immensely with this. He said I could do the book, and he didn't care, but I can't do that. You have to have permission. It's online. It's his copyright. I cannot violate his copyright online. Sorry, I will not do that. And so I have to working on it over the years, many years now, and it's hard to do. It's really hard to work to interpret numbers. So the 7th is a picture graph of the Hebrew plow. That means plowing, growing toward perfection in order to grow a crop, to make something whole and sound and healthy. Or to go to battle, turn your plows into swords. And that fits in war, because number 7 means warring and battling to perfection, or growing, planting to perfection. It covers two aspects of making whole and sound and healthy. Making things right again. That's what the number. That's why they call it the number of perfection. So since it's a 7th prime, and I'm doing this from memory. I think number 17. Wait, I wonder if I have it here. I can look it up real quick. Hey, I actually do. I can look up on my list here, number 17, and tell you what it means. In fact, I was looking at it before I came on. Number 10, 15. Oh, yeah. Traditionally, it is the 7th prime, means we plow to bring about order and perfection of some type. It's the sword of the Lord that brings victory in a Christian sense, and it has to do with victory overcoming the enemy. Absolute victory. That's how the number is used. I have to look up again at how it's used in the Bible. That's what I found it meant, but there's more to it. I have to go back and look at another paper that I did to finalize the meaning, because basically you go to your Bible software. If you use NASB, you can just type the number 17 and it'll pop up wherever number 17 is, and then you can look at the context or the theme of it and find out the meaning of it, the shade of meaning. So there are different shades of meaning. I have to go to another piece of paper where I did that and give you a more accurate. That's just a bullet point. So I had to change the definition somewhat to fit what thing. And there's negative and positive ways you can use that too. Negative sense and a positive sense. The enemy can use number 17 for their thing, like I showed you the occult world does. And then the other is the sword of the Lord, which I think is more fitting, the sword of the Lord, which is the word of God that brings victory. That's what 17 really would mean. The word of God that brings victory. The sword of the Spirit, the word. The sword, the word. Would be. I think that's what I found in the Christian sense. So, yeah. 19th to the 8th. Yep, interesting, isn't it? And destruction follows, yeah. Think about it. Just think about it. I have to look. Let me look at what 19 means. Remember, I don't have I'm working on this. Oh, yeah, I know what 19 means. It's faith and the wisdom of faith in Hebraic sense. It means faith in action. It's a faith that they'll be perfect. I wrote this down. Perfect judgment will be laid against erring faith, other separating sheep from goats. And also the third shade of meaning is judgment of one's faith or faithfulness, being judged for one's faith or faithfulness. Okay. But primarily it was faith and the wisdom of faith in Hebraic sense, the Hebrew sense of your faith is in action. That's 19. In biblical numbers, that's what that means. It's related to faith, faithfulness. Other shades of meaning are faith in God's faithfulness would be another shade of meaning to that as well. Yeah, I should have known. Yeah, no, 19, like you said. Um, so in the biblical numbers, have faith in God's faithfulness. Faith, the wisdom of faith is your faith is an action. You're just not a bunch of words. You live out your faith in God's faithfulness is the idea. And the number 8, which I already know by heart, is the number, they call it the number of new beginnings, but it's a paleo pictograph of a wall inside of a tent. In other words, it divides into new beginnings, a new era, a new time frame. And so you have faith in the Christian sense, quite different than the 8th in the occult world. 8th means new beginnings. So your new beginnings in faith with God would be put those two together. What you don't do is add 1 to 9. That's Chaldean, and you get 10, and you get the number 1. You always go to the smallest one. That gives you the identity of a deity. That's behind the number that they use to conjure with. But I won't get into that right now. That's for a later study on the occult. So, excuse me. I gotta get off here. Where am I? Okay, I want to go back to here. I'll go back to 8. 8 has a beautiful set of meanings to it. 10 is huge meaning to 10. So 8 is the letter, Hebrew letter that looks like a wall in a tent. Is in a room, a fence to separate it from or to cut off something as the means of protection, boundary for protection, as in the manner of inner chambers. That's the first definition. Second is used to denote separate into new beginnings, becoming a new man, or entering into a new life via circumcision of the heart, in New Testament sense. And even a new birth, number 3rd shade of meaning, came also to indicate the inner walls of the heart, meaning the essence of someone separated into a new beginning or manner of life. That sanctification is involved in that. But the root meaning is inner room, fence, separated from, cut off as the means of protection, boundary, protection for inner chambers of the heart. And as you go back to 19, you have faith and the wisdom of faith. You have judgment of one's faith or faithfulness is being implied. So you have that in that meaning of 8 as well as in 19. That's rather simpleton, but the best way I can explain how to interpret Bible numbers is from the Bible, how they're used, and from the traditional meaning of the root, the original paleo, what they teach. There are people who teach this stuff better than I do. And we all say the same thing in different ways, but it's a thing of faith. And so 19 is the 8th. Okay. Was it the 8th prime? Did I read that right? I thought I had that down. I think 19 is the 8th prime. Yeah, I think so. I'll look that up real quick. Just bear with me. Is what prime? I can't do this in my head. No, 18 is divisible by 1, 2, 3, 6, 9. Okay, 18 is not a prime number. Okay, that's right. It's not. I study this so much, sometimes I forget. Yeah. So I go to prime factors. I'll do this real quick since I'm with the prime factor calculator. I did this before. I'm doing it now live, so I'm going to type in 18 and what does it calculate? Yeah, it's 2 times 3 to the second power, but 2 times 3 times 6. So you interpret it like this. I'm going to shrink the screen so I don't blind you with it glaring off my face. It literally, you'll see my face being glowed. It's a 2 times 3 to the third power. So it'd be door. Oh, no. Okay. 2 is the Hebrew a picture graph of a house being divided. So dividing of the house. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 is the number of man, and then 6 times 3 is 9. Okay, 6 times 3 is 18, and so that's how you derive it. So you got the house is for man is divided. Again, you come back to the meaning of the word. I'll go back to the meaning of the word faith. I should do this on screen sometime so you can see it. Go back. I have to do everything. So it's so 18 or 19. Oh, 19. I did the wrong number. 18. I'm supposed to do the prime factor of 19. Wow, I was off base. Sorry. Okay. That's what I was doing. 19 is the 8th. So let's look at 19. I wrote it down wrong. Sorry. I just saw that because I can't look at the screen and do it. Oh, yeah. I did it again. Why do I type in 18? 19. Okay. Yeah, it's the 8th prime. Okay, yeah. That's right. I forgot to put that into my chart. It is the 8th prime. You're correct. I thought you were because I remember that a long time ago when I was in school, but never mind. My brain doesn't work that well when I remember math numbers. I have to go do it the hard way or just cheat on the computer. But anyway, yeah. So at the 8th is a new beginning of faith. It's all kinds of ways you can read that. That's how you do the shades of definition. Since it's the 8th prime, you got to find the 8th prime meaning, the number 8 meaning. That fits into the number 19. That's a biblical definition. The occult world is totally different. Give you what I mean. I'll see if I can find what 19 is in the occult meaning. I don't like to, but let's see. Oh, it represents the Son, Prince of Heaven. It promises success, esteem, plan for the future. I'm not going to go any more than that. Oh yeah, and 8. I already read you what 8 was. So as long as you avoid death and destruction, you'll be favorable, or whatever. But that's the occult meaning. It goes back to spell casting. I'm not going to give you any more information on that. But I'm giving you the biblical definition. Okay. Sorry. Boy, I got off on a rabbit trail on that one. I better get off here. Okay, I'll end it with this. Joe says, so much is happening in the spiritual realm. The fall of Syria is part of the end times. Keep praying, trusting in Jesus. He goes on. All Christians I talk to feel something big is coming, not sure what, but the Almighty God is in control. Yep. And I have so many people, the guests here at my house, feel the same way. We feel it. We know something is coming. I'm uneasy about it. It don't feel right. And the other people are saying it doesn't feel right. Enjoy. If you're born on the 17th, rejoice. Interpret the biblical numbers. Victory is yours. Okay. Amen. And you'll be made whole and sound through, God's sanctification. Hallelujah. Amen. Whatever. I'm just saying. Don't know. Actually, the day you're born really doesn't really do anything or tell you who you are or your personality. Hate to pop people's bubble on that, but it doesn't. You're like Popeye. I am what I am. Give me my can of spinach. Yeah, Norma says she feels the same thing. Yeah, I felt good about Trump being elected, but something heavy weighed over me. Will he make it? Absolutely, Norma. God answered our prayers with Trump and has given us a reprieve. We need civil order, and Trump will bring that. Demonic cult of wokeism, cultural, critical Marxism, that's wokeism, seems defeated for now. It's not defeated. It's underground. It's coming back with a heck of a power strike. It'll hit our youth first. They're starting from you have to reassess how to retake everything over, go in, reestablish power with the youth, teach them Maoism and cultural revolution. So they'll rebel and they'll create this thing. Later on, or they'll hang on to power to use whatever means possible to. We don't know. I don't trust drivers on the road, much less in the air. Me too. Could you imagine somebody cutting your lane off? Flying on the wrong flight path. They need to give us ray guns. I don't know. I'm just kidding. Yeah. The government could use something like that to spoof a paranormal event. They've known to do it before. When I see 115, I was born on January the 15th. If I see those numbers, I wouldn't put any stock into it. In biblical numbers, one means the strong one. It could be Lord Jesus, a strong person, but in a Christian sense, it would be God himself. It could be a strong one. And 15 is a really nice number. It's a number for redemption. It's coming into a covenant, bring wholeness back to life by resting in a received covenant promise. It gives you a new direction in life, living in the new covenant. Okay, that's basically what the idea behind that is. It's also being made. It's used in the Bible of confirming an oath or a promise, and also in the last of the shade of meaning, it means being made whole from sickness and death. Hezekiah gained 15 years of life. Also refers to a covenant promises actualized. So Hezekiah was granted 15 years of life, so it has a number to do with long life and receiving the covenant promises. But so from the strong one, Jesus, that's just all speculation. I'm trying to calm you down. It really it means that's the day you were born on. But if that means something to you, then so be it. Then it's for you. I don't know. I don't use numbers to interpret or read people or anything like that. I don't. I never do. I don't mean to here. If I did, it's by accident. Because God can use that probably. I'm not going to say He can't, but yeah. Serve the Lord with fear and celebrate His rule with trembling. Yep. Yeah. I've seen videos of people who said they have witnessed a mist being sprayed. I heard those for some time. As myself, over in Colorado, I don't know how high they were up, but when we went out exercising, me and my wife, our eyes would burn. It would cough a little bit as we continued our exercise, and so yeah, people have seen this over the years. Yep, they've seen people being sprayed. I don't know if it's out of drones. I think some people may have seen them lately. I heard a report that they have. I can't confirm that, but I think they did. And this is where we need to be. Stay with the Word. Psalms 12, verse 1 through 77. The Lord, verse 7. The Lord will keep you from all harm. He'll watch over your life. The Lord will watch over your coming and your going, both now and forever. This is a key verse that ties into Revelations chapter 3 concerning the Philadelphia church about opening and closing of doors. Is what it means. Lord will watch over your coming and your going. Coming in, going out, opening and closing doors. Interesting. Well, I'm glad to see myself laughing. If you only knew what I've been going through, not only grieving, but I injured myself giving CPR to my wife, threw my shoulders out, and got a new mattress and all that. And mattress is hurting my shoulders. And then I got over that, and like an idiot, I'm a guy. What can I say? I can do this. I can rake leaves. I have a little bit of pain left. I'm healed. I'm going to go rake leaves, put them in the container, and the city gave us for such a purpose, and had a empty 5 gallon bucket to mash them down. So I was doing the same motion and went, re-injured the injury. Finally got to see the orthopedic person December 13th, about 7, maybe now almost 2 months later, before I could get in to see a doctor on this. My own doctor saw me and helped me the best way they could and got the x-rays started. They saw the x-rays and don't suspect a rotor cuff tear. So I do have to do an MRI on the shoulder to make sure I don't have a rotor cuff tear. But since she saw I have mobility, she said stretches would be in physical therapy. But we still need the MRI to make sure it's not tore. And so I found out that my MRI would be 45 minutes in a tube. So I got to find some place. That'll drive me crazy being stuck in a tube for 45 minutes. 15 minutes I can probably handle. 45 minutes. I've been in MRIs before. Major spinal injury that I had many years ago. And people didn't know that I fractured my back, my L4, L5. I fell down some flight of stairs, landed, and got up and couldn't feel my left foot. And then got misdiagnosed. It was all work comp. And then 6 months later, when I couldn't feel my foot, oh yeah, I took the MRI and you fractured your back. They said, we'll do therapy on it since you're still walking, and we don't want to do surgery as a last resort. So they did therapy. So I'm walking. So I hike and everything else. But yeah, but to have your shoulders hurt and then cause swelling in the up in the knuckles, and so I could hardly close my hands. And so they gave me some medication that's helping now for this type of injury to take the inflammation away. And this medicine doesn't make you goofy or anything like that or feel anything. It's just it's a steroid type stuff. It just reduces the inflammation. And I took it early today when I got up. That's the only time I can take it is in the morning. And if I can close my hands now. I can move my fingers. Before I couldn't. So I do videos and I'm holding this and doing this. You didn't know my left hand was going numb. Whole arm, a whole finger, whole hand. I said, oh yeah, I could feel the pain going down here, and from this part of my arm, I felt it. But here it was going, my whole hand went numb and tingling like it's asleep. And if I held it down in a certain way, it came back. Oh yeah, we've seen a lot of this with this type of injury. This is what happens. You produce things in your swelling in your wrist that mimics arthritis. There's no arthritis. They x-rayed my fingers, and it causes this chemical to build up in there and cause excruciating pain because you're under a lot of stress. I'm in a lot of stress because I lost my wife. And doing everything, and other things that happened in the life caused a lot of stress that I can't talk about. And this, and my mom passing away in February and all that, it has been not a good year. And then so forth, etc. And yeah, I can't say any more than that. But losing my wife and watching her die on the side of a hill and doing CPR for 10 minutes did my shoulders in. And then through CPR, she had a heartbeat, and EMTs lost her quite a few times too. Nice little thing to watch right after 2 days after my wife's birthday. She didn't deserve this, no. All due to the imaginary thing that happened in 2020 that we're not allowed to talk about in America, or you'll be cut off and censored. It's a term, they call it the long effects of this imaginary stuff. And we never got the pinprick under the thumbnail, so to speak. But that is prevalent amongst both classes of people. Most likely others who had the pinprick would be affected more like this. That's why you're seeing, my wife was an athlete, perfect blood pressure, perfect health. And a lot of these athletes just dropping all of a sudden. Amazing. Same condition. Um, Amazing, isn't it? But I'm glad I'm laughing now. Good to laugh. But I do have my sad moments. I was at a church thing today, and they sang a song that my wife loved, and she loved this song, and I love it too. "Oh Holy Night." I had to get up and leave and go to the bathroom, so start crying on my way to the bathroom. Just things like that make you tear up. That was one of her favorite hymns. And there's this little girl named Claire Crosby. You can look her up on YouTube, and she sings oh, two songs. That was one of them. She was real little singing that song. She's older now. She has a phenomenal voice. And then another song. What was the name of it? Oh, I love you, Lord. And then, you keep running after me. I can't remember the title of it. And that song, we listened and sang that every single night with each other. Not every, but we did it. That was our song. I can't hardly hear that now without bawling like a baby. So I still grieve, but I laugh. So, yeah, okay, I'm done with that. So we have illegal aliens, Joe says, and space aliens. Hey, yeah, that's a good laugh. All right, you guys, all okay. Happy birthday, whoever's birthday it was. I must have missed it. I read it somewhere. So happy birthday to you. Okay. What is this? Oh, I see the number 19 used against me. Lots of laugh. Like whenever I lose in a video game matches, my enemies always have like 19 points against me. And I usually have like 6 or less. Coincidental, most likely. Unless whatever type of games you're playing. I don't know, man. You don't pay no attention to that. That's what I tell people. Don't get hung up on numbers. I've studied this. Don't go number happy. Because you see repeating numbers and cycles, it doesn't mean anything. I'm telling you. Um, and if it does, there could be some occult meaning to it. And then what did I say about 19 in Chaldean numerology again? I forgot. Okay, do I have it here? Oh, it's a promising success. So, man, yeah, it could be a occult meaning. Says, ha ha, we got success, we got victory over you. Yeah, it could possibly have an occult overtone, depending on the type of game and whoever you're playing against, or whoever designed the game could put stuff like that as a spell casting way. Yeah, I don't know, but it's possible, not outside the realm of possibility. But you're not always going to lose. He who is in you is greater than he who is in the world. So think of it like that. Same thing, 111. I haven't done a whole lot on that number, but don't worry about it. I don't know if I have the Chaldean number there's no number 111 in Chaldean. It would be 2 11s actually, 1111. And 11 would be, oh, it's it's an ominous number for the occult world. It's ominous to the occult world. It gives warning of hidden dangers, trials, and treacheries from others, most likely in your midst. And so this is an anti-occult number. If it's the occult world sending it, maybe they view you as the enemy. I don't know. But 2 11s would be an emphatic. I won't get into all this. Mix it with this other number. It's would be 22. Good people are blinded by the folly of others. Basically gaslighting you. I'm just saying. You awaken to the danger too late. It's a number they use to hoodwink people. would be a good way to say that number. So 11 plus 11 is 22. Then you add 2 and 2 together is 4. 4 gives you the deity, whatever is behind it. And when I do that in the old Chaldean system and the modern, then the deities involved are mixed up. You can't tell which one really is. So I'm saying it doesn't mean anything in Christian circles. Let's see, I'll just do this as for fun. Since you ask, I'll go over here to find 1111. I go 1. I really don't have I have a bullet point meaning, but it really doesn't fit anything. It says fellowship is few and far between. I don't know what that's a guy wrote. It's like I can quote him, and it's just a bullet point number, but I have to go do the prime factor thing, and it takes about 15, 20 minutes to get the meaning of 111. I probably should do it. I mean, you have to find the prime factor and do all that number, and it gets arduous to do. I haven't got that far up the number chain yet to interpret that number correctly, so I can't interpret it correctly. But to me, I see 1111 twice a day, and about every other so day, I guarantee I will see 1111. Just like, and it doesn't mean anything but 11 a.m. or 11:11 p.m. And just pay attention. You probably see it a few times, and it'll go away, and all of a sudden you see it again. It doesn't mean anything. Your chances of seeing it I don't know the percentage right now. I can't do that on my head. Is pretty good to see those numbers throughout the day, especially put it within 2-week period. It's very good. You'll see those numbers repeat, and they mean absolutely nothing. Statistically, that's proven. Okay, don't pay attention to that. Okay, you guys. What was that? Chinese and military tanks missile launchers. That was a headline. I just read that. Now I can't remember what it was about. It was a good article. I have to go back and look at that. They were with their missile launchers. I don't know if they were stowing them or getting them ready for something. I can't remember the article. I did see that. I think it was on Google News. Not the best source, but it did mention it. Goes with the Taiwan thing and all that. That is a good point. Goes back to maybe our enemies have planted stuff, even nuclear stuff. They call it dirty bombs, and maybe these flying cars and maybe UFOs are trying to help them save America. I don't know. I have no idea. I have no clue. Just makes good science fiction. With that, I better go. I'm exhausted. I've been on here chatting too long. Break up the video if you want to watch it. With that, you guys be blessed in Jesus' name.